Hi, my name is Dr. Brian Curtice. I'm one of the paleontologists here at Fossil Crates. And today I'm here to talk to you about a brand new paper that just came out literally a few hours ago on one of the all-time classic animals from paleontology, Megalodon. Today, Megalodon is considered to be known as Otodus Megalodon, though in the past it's gone by a number of different genus names, including Carcharodon, Carcharocles, Megasolacus, and Procarcharodon, to name but a few. Now, the length of Megalodon has been debated for a while. A paper came out last year suggesting it could get over 50 feet, and today's study really helps narrow that in, because Dr. Kensu Shimada and his team were able to go and do something no one had yet done. They went and studied the best preserved in the entire world vertebral column belonging to Otodus Megalodon. About 150 vertebrae were collected in Belgium. There were no teeth associated with this find, but this specimen is incredible. The vertebrae are around 6 inches wide, which is gigantic for a shark. What makes this find even crazier is how vertebrae from sharks are made of cartilage, and cartilage doesn't fossilize. However, in this particular case, the circumstances were perfect. The giant shark died, sank to the bottom of the ocean, and the water chemistry was such that the cartilage ossified, meaning it turned to bone. And even more incredible, at least 3 of the vertebrae had annualized rings in them. What does that mean? Well, when they took and scanned these using cool 3D technology, scanning the bones, they were able to look at and discover that it had these rings that built themselves out. And just like a tree ring, every year the animal grew, it laid down a new ring. So what this allowed people to do is to measure the rings from its birth all the way to when it died. And it turns out it was 46 years old. Also, because we know how big the ring started, we know how long it was when it was born. So the animal died at around 30 feet long. But what's even cooler is when they looked into it, they discovered the animal was born at nearly 7 feet long, over 2 meters in length. And we know this because we know how big the centrum was when it was born. So the significance of that is we know how big it was when it was born, we know how long it was when it died, and we know how old it was when it died, so we could guess how long it grew each year based on the ring size, and it on average grew 6 inches a year. So Dr. Shimada's paper, aside from establishing how fast it grew, we know how old it could live, he predicted how long they could have lived. And he predicted up to 100 years of age. Now, a 100-year-old Megalodon, should it really grow at the same 6 inches a year, would be 50 feet long, an unheard of length. Now, weights of Megalodons, though they're constantly tossed about on the internet, you will find all manner of opinions. Only one paper that I was able to find talks about weight in a scientific sense, and they use a very specific weight equation taken from existing sharks. And they predict that a shark the length of 15 meters would weigh close to 40 tons. So Dr. Shimada's crew discovered that the shark likely practiced something called oophagy. And what that means is it was consumption in the womb. So the young sharks inside the uterus competed against one another. They practiced cannibalism, resulting in 1 and probably sometimes 2 sharks being born alive. And so they fought to the death, and the one shark that makes it out alive was nearly 7 feet long. And that's the size of the center of the vertebra that they measured. And then, as it grew and grew and grew and added the rings out, we know how long it lived. So what the paper confirms is the length of the shark and the age of the shark, which is incredible. Now, this is an animal that ate whales, and it had massive impacts on the ecosystem it lived in. It had something called regional endothermy. It was actually a form of warm-bloodedness. And so it was able to function at high energies, at high levels and rates in very cold waters. So it could attack whales and bite through their chest, ripping right to their heart and lungs with its massive mouth. I look forward to the new studies continuing to come out on Megalodon. Every single year we're learning more and more about this unbelievably awesome creature of the seas. It lived around 23 million years ago till around 3 million years ago when it went extinct. The reasons for its extinction aren't clear, and there's a number of hypotheses floating about. Some of them are that it was outcompeted by the great white shark and its arrival. Some are that the whales that it was feeding upon went into colder and colder waters where even the regional endothermy wouldn't allow it to function. We definitely have climate change going on at this particular point in time when it disappears. Though there have been reports and sadly even television shows that propose that the Megalodon is still around, the Megalodon unfortunately is extinct. It is gone, never to be seen again, except in my imagination and in movies. And your imagination too, I'm quite sure. Well, thank you all kindly for your time. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we look forward to your comments. Adios.